During Jake Paul's recent pre-match conference with Hasim Rahman Jr., something strange happened. Hasim Rahman seemed to go off script, going on a rant that really got to Jake Paul. What did he say, and how did both of them react going forward? Well, we've got everything you need to know, so stay tuned. Jake Paul has fought in 5 boxing matches so far in his career, and he's undefeated in all of them. When he first started out, hardly anyone was taking him seriously. But due to the vast amounts of money he created for all stakeholders involved in his fights and because of his recent results, more and more people began to pay attention to him. But hey, just because his fights make a lot of money doesn't mean he's fighting for real, is he? This was the question at the core of most people's minds. Jake Paul managed to quell some of these doubters by bringing on serious boxers, such as Tyrone Woodley, into the ring with him. But not everyone has been convinced, even after his knockout win over Woodley. Paul was recently scheduled to fight Tommy Fury, brother of Tyson Fury, on August 6, 2021. Tickets had already been sold, bets had already been placed, and plane tickets had already been purchased. But right at the 11th hour, Tommy Fury pulled out, leaving Jake Paul in a fit of rage and in a scramble for a new opponent. Though there were some whisperings that Nate Diaz of the UFC would take the charge, Jake actually ended up settling for 31-year-old heavyweight Hasim Rahman, a boxer with 12 wins and 1 loss to his name. Because Hasim was brought on late, the pre-match process had to be rushed. As a result, he found himself in a press conference with Paul in no time at all. There, all hell broke loose. It's typical for fighters to talk smack at each other at these events in order to generate hype for their games. But in the case of Hasim Rahman, he seemed to go off script, leaving Paul flabbergasted. So what exactly did he say? Well, we break everything down ahead.
They be with this footage stuff, man. They be putting out what they want to put out. Did you put out the footage when you turned around and ran away from me in the ring? Why you ain't put that out? You turned your back and ran like a I ain't gonna cuss, but you turned your back and ran. So why you ain't put that out? You put out what you want to put out, content creator. We're gonna see you on August 6th, man.
It seems that during the press conference from out of nowhere, Rahman suddenly got sick of Jake Paul's whole deal. He said that he was going to embarrass him on August 6th and expose his facade of a boxing career. Rahman seemed to be implying what most people were suspecting, but were hesitant to say out loud, that Jake Paul is not that good of a boxer, and that other fighters are basically paid to lose to him. Rahman said a lot to back up these assertions. He said he attended a sparring session with Jake Paul, in which Paul's team gave him a whole lot of handicaps. They instructed him not to use certain moves and techniques against the American entertainer. They also told him not to punch too hard and only use one hand against Jake.
This time he was very green, and it was like what I took away from it was like, okay, he's tough. He's not just gonna go away when you punch him, because some people, when they first get into boxing and you hit them one good time, they'll stop. Or they'll find a way out. But I was okay. He's tough. He take a punch, keep coming. Okay.
And was you up in there playing with him?
I mean, it was like
you wouldn't take it serious.
It was not that I didn't take it serious, but it was like his people had came to. This was him and Logan came to box, and I was in camp with Joey DeJecko, and Logan boxed Joey DeJecko, and then I boxed Jake. Logan almost got his head taken off by Joey. So and then they had to, it was like, all right,
keep it on low.
Let's get this. Let's just get him out of there with him. And then they put me in with Jake, and it's like, no, I don't want to. I get nothing out of tearing off a YouTuber's head, and then these guys are trying to, they explain to us like they just getting in the box. And so what do I get from stopping this kid?
Jake Paul obviously tried to push back against these statements with trash talk of his own, but it was very clear to see how surprised and rattled he was by Rahman's statements.
A real boxer, and he won. And I plan on winning in a vicious knockout. And once I do that, people are gonna be like, Jesus Christ, he just knocked out a heavyweight.
Your reaction? Why a heavyweight, Jay? I mean, you haven't fought a heavyweight yet. Why a heavyweight now?
Well, he has a name. For me, it's hard to find a perfect opponent because they have to have a big name. They have to be a good fighter. They have to be a professional boxer. I wanted to check that off the list. And so he just fit the whole entire description. And I know what I'm capable of. If I'm knocking everyone out at cruiserweight, then why can't I knock out someone?
As a result, his comebacks sounded scripted and forced. Paul said that Rahman is a nobody, and that if not for their fight, he would have remained irrelevant. He also said he was paying him a lot of money for the fight. To this, Rahman responded by saying that he accepted the least money at the highest level. He also added that boxing is not about money, and that Paul should stop deflecting towards his wealth to avoid the crux of the issue. Rahman didn't stop there, and went on to add that Paul spends too much time in the ring running anyway. He stated that after many months of paying for high-quality coaches, he still wasn't a decent boxer. Paul said he would shut these accusations down by beating Hasim on August 6th. Hasim didn't seem fazed by this and was eager for the fight to come on.
For the first time, August 6th, your life can change. It's not about one fight, it's about two fights, right? We're talking about a second payday. If you knock this guy out, he wants a rematch, how much moolah are you going to demand?
I believe that he's going to retire after this fight. I don't think there's going to be a rematch.
No Tommy Fury?
I think all those plans go. I don't think he's going to want to box no more when I get through with him. I think that given his response to the first Woodley fight and his mannerisms after the first Woodley fight, he seemed like he was on the verge of not doing this anymore. So when I finish with him, I think that he's going to completely step away from the sport.
Some have said this entire conference was a stunt. However, by watching it and seeing how uncomfortable Jake Paul was, it's hard to believe that. Now what remains to be seen is if the fight is still coming on. After all, there have been some rumors that it is to be cancelled. The way we see it, Jake Paul is trapped between a rock, a hard place, and an even harder place. If he cancels the fight, then he would be labeling himself as a coward, and would basically be confirming Hasim Rahman's words. If he doesn't cancel it, then he risks being embarrassed by one of the best heavyweight talents in the boxing industry right now. And looking for a new opponent is out of the question, because there simply isn't enough time, and too much money has been wasted on promotion material for Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, and then Jake Paul versus Hasim Rahman Jr. Right now, the best thing Jake Paul's team can do is to offer Hasim more money in order to pacify him and get him in line. Then, Jake can do his job no problem and get on with his fabulous boxing career. So, what do you think about this outburst from Hasim Rahman Jr.? Do you think he was being totally honest, or do you think it was all part of the act? In addition, who are you betting your money on when they fight? Are you staying on Team Jake? Do you think Rahman is going to hand his ass to him? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you. Things between these two fighters are now at a boiling point. Jake, who isn't exactly the forgiving type, will definitely not let this go. To make sure you don't miss out on any updates, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Our content is always timely, informative, and engaging. Thank you for watching this video. That's all for now. Please like this and share if you enjoyed it. Until next time, have a great day. Catch you later.